Hi students, all of you. How are you doing? Today we'll be discussing skeletal tissue. Okay. The functions of skeletal tissue. It protects the delicate internal organs. Internal organs should be protected by the skeletal tissue. The skeletal tissue gives the shape to the body. A proper shape is ascertained by the skeletal tissue to the human body. It also offers the sites for the attachment of different muscles. Different muscles are attached to the skeletal parts and skeletal tissue. Next one, it also offers a locomotion to the human body. What is locomotion? The movement of an animal from one place to the other place is called as locomotion. So this skeletal tissue also offers the locomotion. So these are the principal functions of the skeletal tissue. Okay, students. The skeletal tissue is divided into principally two main parts. One is the cartilage and bone. Under these headings, we'll be discussing the skeletal tissue. Today, we'll be discussing cartilage. Cartilage. The study of cartilage is called as chondrology. Anything chondro means related to the cartilage. Chondrocyte, chondroblast, perichondrium, that is which are related to the cartilage. Anything chondro means related to the cartilage. Cartilage is surrounded by a dense fibrous irregular connective tissue sheath called as perichondrium. Perichondrium. Perichondrium is the dense fibrous irregular connective tissue sheath. This is a sheath-like structure which is covering the cartilage. This is the cartilage, and that is surrounded by the dense fibrous irregular connective tissue sheath. Note down this point. These are irregular connective tissue sheath called as perichondrium. And perichondrium is containing the two parts called as outer fibrous layer. Outer fibrous layer. And inner chondrogenic layer. Chondrogenic layer. Outer fibrous layer contains the fibroblasts. They contains the fibroblasts, which secretes the collagen fibers. Collagen fibers. This is the inner chondrogenic layer. This is the outer fibrous layer. This one's the outer fibrous layer. This is the outer fibrous layer which contains the fibroblasts. The fibroblasts secretes the collagen fibers, and this is the inner chondrogenic layer. Inner chondrogenic layer. The inner chondrogenic layer also contains the fibroblast. Here also the fibroblasts are there. Here fibroblasts are there. Here also the fibroblasts are there. Inner chondrogenic layer. You see here the terminology. Chondro means, I told you, cartilage. What is genic here? Genic means production. See here. Chondro means cartilage. Genic means production. secretion, production or secretion. That is, this layer secretes the actual cartilage. Inner chondrogenic layer contains the fibroblasts. The fibroblast secretes the chondroblasts. Chondroblasts. Clear? Now let's discuss the cells of cartilage. Cells of cartilage. There are principally two types of cells are there. One is called as chondroblast. Number one, chondroblasts. I told you just now that the chondroblasts are secreted by the fibroblasts. The fibroblasts are present in the inner chondrogenic layer. Once secreted, the chondroblasts are present in the periphery. See here, this is the peripheral region, for example. This is the peripheral region of the cartilage now. So here the chondroblasts are present in the peripheral region of the cartilage. That is outer region of the cartilage. So they are present in the periphery, number one. Periphery of the cartilage. Number two, they are the immature cells. Immature cells. Blast means the developmental stage. That's why they are called as the chondroblast. Blast means it's not a fully formed cell. If it is a fully formed cell, that is called as a chondrocyte. Here is called as chondroblast because that's a developing stage is there. That's why they are the immature cells. But they are the active cells. Immature cells but active cells. Why they are called as active cells? Because they secretes the matrix. The immature cells called as chondroblast secretes the matrix here called as a extracellular matrix. So here is a extracellular matrix. The matrix which is present outside the cell is called as the extracellular matrix. Clear, students? Here are the chondroblast present and secretes the extracellular matrix here. So that's the principal function of the chondroblast. And the second function of chondroblast, first function is extracellular matrix. I'm writing here. The second function of this chondroblast is later on these get differentiated. The chondroblast gets differentiated into the fully formed cell called as chondrocyte. Chondrocyte. See here, cyte means a cell, a fully formed cell. This chondroblast is not a fully formed cell, whereas chondrocyte is a fully formed cell. And chondroblast is a immature cell, whereas chondrocyte is a mature cell. It's a mature cell. That is first point. And second point is, these are the inactive cells. Inactive cells. Whereas chondroblasts are the active cells. That's why they secrete the matrix and also they form the chondrocytes. So chondroblasts are present in the periphery, secreted by the fibroblasts. They are the immature but active cells which secretes the extracellular matrix. They also get differentiated into the fully formed cell called as a chondrocyte. The chondrocyte is a mature cell, no doubt, but there are also the inactive cells. There is no contribution. Once the chondrocyte is formed, they get entrapped here. They get entrapped in the matrix here called as a lacunae. These are the lacunae. So this is the lacuna. I'm writing here. Lacuna. Lacuna is singular. Lacunae means plural, more than one. That's the difference. Clear, students? So these are the lacunae. Lacunae are the vacuole-like structures. That is empty space-like structures here, vacuole-like structures. Where is this lacunae present? They are present among the matrix. This is the matrix, no? This is the matrix, extracellular matrix here. And these are the lacunae present. What are lacunae? They are the empty spaces. Lacunae are the empty spaces or vacuole-like structures. And what's the importance of this lacunae means? Each lacuna contains the chondrocyte. It contains the chondrocyte. See here, these are the chondrocytes. So these are the chondrocytes present, and this is a lacuna. These are the chondrocytes. Chondrocytes. Where are the chondrocytes present? They are present inside the lacunae. They are entrapped inside the lacunae. They are chondrocytes. And what is lacuna? Lacuna is a vacuole-like structure present in the extracellular matrix. Clear, students? Now, how many chondrocytes are there in each lacuna? 1 to 4 chondrocytes are there. 1 to 4 chondrocytes are present in each lacunae here. Getting my point, students? So these are the cells of the cartilage. Cells of the cartilage. Now let's discuss the matrix. How is the matrix? Clear, students? Matrix, extracellular matrix, secreted by the chondroblasts. The matrix is solid. The matrix is solid. Hence cartilage is rigid. Rigid means very strong. Why the cartilage is rigid? Because the matrix is solid. Clear, students? Hence it resists the compression. Hence it resists compression. What is compression? Changing in the volume is called as compression. For example, if you take something and it is changing in the volume like this, that is compressed. But you can't compress the cartilage. Why? Because it is rigid. Why the cartilage is rigid? Because the matrix is solid. Because the matrix is solid, hence the cartilage is rigid. So it resists the compression. The cartilage resists the compression. No doubt. Next point is cartilage is also flexible because the matrix is pliable. Matrix is pliable. What is pliable? Pliable means flexible. Matrix is pliable means flexible. A certain sort of flexibility is also asserted. So what's the bottom line here? The cartilage is rigid but somewhat flexible also. Both rigid and also flexible. You're following, student. For example, here is a cartilage, elastic cartilage is there. It is rigid, no doubt, but also some sort of flexibility is there here, like this. You're following. That is why it is flexible, because the matrix is pliable here. That's why cartilage is a little bit, flexibility is ascertained here. So cartilage is not as rigid as bone. Bone is the most rigid one, and next one is a cartilage. Next one is a muscle. So this is least rigid. Least rigid. This is medium and this is a more rigid one. So when you compare the rigidity, this is highly solid, highly rigid, very tough. That's a bone. And when compared to bone, cartilage is a little bit flexible. When compared to cartilage, muscle is more flexible. You're following, students? So these are the various properties of cartilage. Next one is cartilage is avascular. Next property of cartilage is avascular. Avascular. And also aneural. What is the meaning of A? A means without. Vascular means here no blood vessel supply. The cartilage is avascular. There is no blood vessel and blood supply to the cartilage. Hitherto we had discussed in the previous sections that epithelial tissue is also avascular. There is no blood supply for the epithelial tissue also. Likewise, the cartilage is also avascular. There is no blood supply. When there is no blood supply, what happens? the nutrients are not supplied to the cartilage properly. Isn't it? See here, because what is the most important function of this blood? It supplies the oxygen along with the nutrients. But here I'm saying that cartilage is avascular. There is no blood supply. Then how the nutrients are supplied to the cartilage? Yes, there is a mechanism by which, here is a perichondrium. Now this is the perichondrium. Perichondrium. Through the perichondrium, the nutrients are supplied. The nutrients are supplied. Even though the nutrients are supplied, this is the cartilage, cartilage, the nutrients are supplied to the cartilage, to the perichondrium, like this, in this fashion. Nevertheless, the cartilage is receiving very less nutrients, because even though the cartilage can survive, why? Because the cartilage has a lower metabolic rate. Lower metabolic rate. When there is a lower metabolic rate is there, it demands lesser nutrients. Lesser metabolism demands lesser nutrients. And that's why whichever the little nutrients which are supplied to the cartilage through the perichondrium, they are enough for the cartilage. In this way, the cartilage is able to survive. Clear, students? And cartilage is aneural also. There is no nervous connection to the cartilage. Avascular, no blood supply. Aneural, no, not connected to the nerve here. Aneural also. Nervous system, there is not connected to the nervous system as well. Clear, students? Next one is, the cartilage is derived from embryonic mesenchyme. Embryonic mesenchyme. That is embryonic connective tissue called as embryonic mesenchyme, because total connective tissue is derived from mesoderm, the same way cartilage. Clear, students? Now we will be discussing the different types of cartilage. Different types of cartilage. Now the heading is types of cartilage. Cartilage types. 3 types of cartilage are there. Basing on their properties, extracellular matrix, and etc. The cartilage is divided into 3 types. First one is called as hyaline cartilage. Hyaline cartilage. Number 2, elastic cartilage. Number 3, fibrous cartilage. So the 3 types of cartilage are there: hyaline, elastic, and fibrous cartilage. First of all, let's discuss about the hyaline cartilage. Hyaline cartilage is the most common type of cartilage. Most common type of cartilage. What's meant by most common type? That is, more examples we can provide from the cartilage means it's a higher cartilage. That is widely distributed cartilage in the human body. That is, it is the most common type of all the 3 types of cartilages. Extensive one. Next one is, it is the weakest type of cartilage. Weakest one. Of all the 3, which is the weakest one? Hyaline cartilage is the weakest type. Why? Because it is made of the delicate collagen fibers. Delicate collagen fibers. And these are very few. That too, very few collagen fibers are there. And these are the delicate collagen fibers. That is very weak collagen fibers are there. That is why the hyaline cartilage is the weakest of all the three types of cartilages. Next point is hyaline cartilage is slightly bluish in color. Bluish in color. And it is glass-like. Glass-like means translucent. Translucent. Opposite of transparent. Transparent means which we can see through. Translucent, it's a glass-like which we cannot see through, but it is a glassy appearance is there. That's why the name hyaline. Hyaline means glassy appearance or translucent appearance. That's why it's called as hyaline cartilage. So hyaline cartilage is the most common type, that is extensive one in the human body. It is the weakest cartilage because it is made of the delicate collagen fibers, and that too very few collagen fibers are there in the hyaline cartilage. It's a bluish one, the color is bluish and sometimes bluish white also. And it's a glass-like or translucent cartilage, that's why it's called as a hyaline. Hyaline means glass-like. Hyaline means glass-like here. It contains the perichondrium. It contains the perichondrium. The layer is there here. Now the examples of hyaline cartilage. Examples, that is in the human body, where are they located? First of all, nasal septum. Nasal septum. Okay, I'll draw the diagram first of all. Here is a perichondrium. And here contains the extracellular matrix is present here. This is the extracellular matrix. Interspaced among the extracellular matrix, the lacunae are present here. These are the lacunae. Different lacunae are there. This is the extracellular matrix. Extracellular matrix. These are the lacunae present here. Inside the lacunae, what are present? They consist of chondrocytes. These are the chondrocytes. 1 to 4 chondrocytes are there. Sometimes 1, sometimes 2, sometimes 3, and sometimes 4. So this is the lacuna. This is a chondrocyte. Chondrocyte. And what is this one? Extracellular matrix. This is the perichondrium. Perichondrium. Clear, students? Now this one is avascular. Where is it present? Let's discuss now. First of all, the examples are nasal septum. What is a septum? Septum means the partition. Two nostrils are partitioned here. That's called as a nasal septum. The nasal septum is made of the weakest cartilage called as hyaline cartilage. Okay, students. Next one is the cartilaginous rings of trachea, bronchi, and larynx. The cartilaginous rings, for example, this is the trachea. Here, towards the ventral side, the cartilaginous rings are there. These cartilaginous rings, here, this is the trachea. And these are the cartilaginous ring-like structures. These rings are made of the hyaline cartilage. They are present only towards the ventral side. Towards the dorsal side, these rings are absent. So the cartilaginous rings of trachea, bronchi, and also larynx. Here is a larynx present, voice box, isn't it? All these are made of the hyaline cartilage. Number 3, epiphyseal plates. Epiphyseal plates. structure of a long bone. Here, this is a structure of a long bone here. This is called as epiphysis of the, this is a long bone, epiphysis, this raised part, extended part is called as epiphysis, and this part is called as diaphysis. Between these two, here there is a metaphysis is present, metaphysis. Meta means in between, that's why the present in between, बीच में रहते हैं ये. That is between the epiphysis and diaphysis, that is the metaphysis present. So here is a metaphysis present, and metaphysis contains the epiphyseal plates. Epiphyseal plates are there, present in the metaphysis, metaphysis of the long bone. Epiphysis, these are diaphysis, and this is a metaphysis. The metaphysis contains the epiphyseal plates. The epiphyseal plates are made of the hyaline cartilage, and these are responsible for the elongation of the bone. Elongation of the bone. That's why the person is growing here. Clear, students? Next one is sternal parts of the ribs. Sternal parts of the ribs, called as costal cartilages. Costal cartilages. You know, these ribs are attached to the sternum. Here is a sternum. The ribs are attached here like this to the sternum. The ribs, this is a rib, for example, this is a sternum. The rib is attached to the sternum by the help of which one? Hyaline cartilage. Anything rib means here which one? Costal. That's why we say the muscles present in the ribs are called as intercostal muscles. Costal means they are associated with the ribs. So the ribs are attached to the sternum. This is the sternum. Here breastbone is there. Is attached here to the help of which one? The hyaline cartilage. The sternal parts of the ribs. Next one is the articular cartilages. Articular cartilages. Articular cartilages. What is articulation? Articulation means the connection between the bones. Any two bones are connected by the articular cartilages. So here is a bone, and here is another bone, two bones. Here is a joint formed. The free surfaces, this is a bone. This is one bone I'm writing here. This is a bone. This is another bone. The two bones are connected by a joint here. Here is a joint present. Clear? And the free surfaces of any long bone. This is a long bone now. The free surfaces of any long bone contains here which cartilage? Here also the hyaline cartilage is there. The free surfaces of the long bone. Here hyaline cartilage is there. Hyaline cartilage. So hyaline cartilage is also present in the free surfaces of the long bone. And that's called as a articular cartilage here. The hyaline cartilage here is called as a articular cartilage. Why is called as articular cartilage? Because they are helps in the articular facets. Articulation means which one? Connection. What is the connection here? Joint. Joint is a connection. Articulation. And here is called as the articular surface of the long bone. Here contains the free surfaces of the long bone. That contains which cartilage? Hyaline cartilage here. Hyaline cartilage. Why this hyaline cartilage is present in these surfaces? When there is a movement, there are chances that the joint may get damaged because of the friction. It's not happening. Why? Because the hyaline cartilage is there, which provides the smoothness of the movement, which provides the smoothness of the movement here. Free movement is there. It reduces the friction because of the presence of the hyaline cartilage in these free surfaces of the long bones. Clear, students? But here what is absent in the articular cartilages? Perichondrium is absent. Perichondrium is absent here. It's a very important point. So entire hyaline cartilages, they contains the perichondrium, but this is an example of hyaline cartilage where the perichondrium is absent, and this is a type of hyaline cartilage, but here perichondrium is absent. Clear, students? See here there is, I want to elaborate a little bit, because here these free surfaces are made of hyaline cartilage. If the cartilage gets damaged because of trauma or injury, some other problem, what happens? The cartilage is damaged here. For example, this is a damaged cartilage. But the cartilage is avascular, I told you. Cartilage is avascular. And the chondrocytes which are present, here is a rough diagram here. Chondrocytes are entrapped here. These are the chondrocytes but present inside the lacuna. Isn't it? So when the cartilage is damaged, if the blood supply is there, what happens? The nutrients can be supplied and the cartilage can be regenerated. But here what's happening? The cartilage is avascular. So when the cartilage is damaged, injured cartilage because of trauma or so and so reason, what happens now? The nutrients cannot be supplied. The nutrients cannot be supplied. That's the first reason. The second reason is these chondrocytes are entrapped inside the lacuna. So the chondrocytes cannot be going. Why? Because they are present inside. If a person is jailed, how can he go outside? Is it possible? No. The same way, chondrocytes are entrapped inside this lacuna. So they cannot go to the sites of injury of the cartilage. That's why the injured cartilage cannot be regenerated. That's why the injured cartilage cannot be regenerated. Why? Because it is avascular and the chondrocytes cannot be going to the sites of injury. That's why, because it is not regenerated, what happens? It gets inflamed. It gets inflamed. For example, this is an inflammation. It gets inflamed here. What is inflammation? I told you in the previous classes. Inflammation. The inflammation is always characterized by swelling, redness, pain, and burning sensation. Burning sensation. That is called as inflammation. The inflammation of this joint. This is a joint now. The inflammation of this joint because of the injured cartilage is called as which one? Arthritis. That's called as arthritis. Arthritis. Arthro. Anything arthro means joint. Arthro means joint. Itis means here inflammation. Inflammation. Inflammation of the joint. That's called as arthritis. It happening because of the injured cartilage which cannot be regenerated here. You're following, students? So till now we have studied 5 examples. Now the next example let's discuss. Embryonic endoskeleton of bony vertebrates. Actually, what's the endoskeleton of bony vertebrates? Bone. But in the embryonic stages, it's a cartilage. Which type of cartilage? Hyaline cartilage. Hyaline cartilage. No doubt in the adult stages, after birth, all these things, the bony endoskeleton is there. But at the embryonic stages of even the bony vertebrates, which type of endoskeleton is there? Is called as cartilaginous endoskeleton. And which type of cartilage is present in the endoskeleton of the this one, bony embryonic stages of the bony vertebrates, hyaline cartilage is present. Which type of cartilage? Hyaline cartilage is there. Clear, students? This hyaline cartilage contains the chondroblast. As you know, it contains the chondroblast in the embryonic stages. But this chondroblasts, they get calcified. What is calcification? Deposition of more calcium. Into the cartilage. That's called as a calcification. And later on, what happens now? The chondroblasts are converted into the osteoblasts. This is called as the osteogenesis. Also called as osteogenesis. What is osteogenesis here? The process of formation of bone is called as the osteogenesis. How this is possible? Because the chondroblasts are classified and later on they are formed into the osteoblasts. Osteogenesis is there here. Clear, students? Next one is the endoskeleton of cartilaginous fishes. Endoskeleton of cartilaginous fishes also contains the hyaline cartilage. So embryonic endoskeleton of bony vertebrates and the endoskeleton of the cartilaginous fishes and cyclostomes, all these contains the hyaline cartilage. Now these are the various examples of hyaline cartilage. The second type of cartilage let's discuss now, that's called as the elastic cartilage. The second type of cartilage called as the elastic cartilage. Elastic cartilage, as the name indicates, it's made of elastic fibers. Elastic fibers are present in the extracellular matrix. More number of elastic fibers are there, and these are made of a protein called as elastin. Elastin color, what is the color of elastin? Yellow. That's why yellow elastic fibers. So elastic cartilage is yellowish in color. It's also made of few collagen fibers, but more number of elastic fibers are there, and that's why it's called as elastic cartilage. The most important property of these fibers, elastic fibers, is which one? Stretching and recoiling here. When the force is applied, they can be stretched. When the force is removed, they can be recoiled. That's called as elasticity is there for this elastic cartilage here. Clear, students? Here perichondrium is present. Clear? Just like hyaline cartilage, here also the perichondrium is present. And histologically, that is at the tissue level, it is similar to which one? Elastic cartilage is similar to the hyaline cartilage. At the tissue level, when we examine, histologically elastic cartilage is similar to the hyaline cartilage. Clear, students? Now examples of elastic cartilage. Now it's very easy to remember. E for elastic, and first example is epiglottis. E for epiglottis, E for elastic cartilage. Next one is eustachian tubes. E for eustachian tubes. Number 3, external ear, called as pinna. E for external ear. See here, E for elastic cartilage, E for epiglottis, E for eustachian tube, E for external ear, all here. So very easy to remember here. What is epiglottis? The cartilaginous flap-like structure which guards the glottis is called as epiglottis, so that the food is not entering into the respiratory system. It prevents the passage of food into the larynx because of the presence of the epiglottis, cartilaginous flap-like structure. Next one is eustachian tubes, which are also made of the elastic cartilage. which connects the middle ear, to the pharynx. So two tubes are there because two middle ears are there now. So one tube from the middle ear of this side to the pharynx, other tube here. So two tubes are there, that is called as eustachian tubes. And they are also made of the elastic cartilage. Next one is external ear called as pinna, is also made of the elastic cartilage. These are the examples of the elastic cartilage. Now the final form, the third form is called as the fibrous cartilage. The fibrous cartilage is made of very strong collagen fibers. And these are arranged in the bundles. Hitherto, just now, in the session, we had discussed that the hyaline cartilage is also made of the collagen fibers. But what's the difference here? These fibrous cartilage is made of the strong collagen fibers which are arranged in the bundles, whereas hyaline cartilage is made of the delicate and weak collagen fibers which are very few in number. That's why hyaline cartilage is the weakest cartilage, whereas fibrous cartilage is the strongest cartilage. This is the strongest cartilage, because it is made of the strong collagen fibers, and that too they are arranged in the bundles and very more in number. Whereas in the case of hyaline cartilage, delicate and weak collagen fibers which are few in number, that's why there the weakest cartilage, here the strongest cartilage. In the hyaline cartilage, the perichondrium is present, but whereas here the perichondrium is absent. Because total wide fibrous connective tissue is totally converted into the fibrous cartilage. That is why there is no room for the formation of the perichondrium. That's why here the perichondrium is absent. Clear, students? And examples now. One is intervertebral discs. Intervertebral discs here. The disc-like structures in the vertebral column, intervertebral discs, and also pubic symphysis of the pelvic girdle. Pubic symphysis, which connects the two bones called as os innominatum of the pelvic girdle. Two bones are there which joins the coxal bones here, os innominatum. And the joint here is called as the pubic symphysis. The pubic symphysis is made of which cartilage? Fibrous cartilage. These were the very good examples of the fibrous cartilage here. Now I'll tell you a little bit deviation here now. Hyaline cartilage sometimes become calcified. The hyaline cartilage sometimes become more calcified. What is calcification? I told you, more deposition of calcium salts in the form of hydroxyapatite. When the hyaline cartilage is having more deposition of these calcium salts, it becomes more strong, more hard, more tougher than hyaline cartilage, whereas hyaline cartilage is very much weaker because it is made of the delicate collagen fibers, whereas because of the deposition of more calcium salts here, the hyaline cartilage becomes very tougher and stronger, and that's called as a calcified cartilage. The calcified cartilage is present in the head of the humerus. Examples are head of the humerus and head of the femur bone. Thigh bone. These are the examples of the hyaline cartilage. So that's all, my dear students, for today. Hope you enjoyed the session. God bless you all. Bye, students, all of you.